All right, welcome everybody to Research Management Software Part 1 using Zotero. I'm Jonathan Aragon, a part-time faculty and PFF fellow for preparing future faculty. I teach courses PFF 530 right now and sometimes also 531. I help out with a lot of the media, these webinars, and run the podcast for them, amongst other things. So, and I use Zotero a lot, so I'm very happy to see that you have an interest in it. I'm joined here with Gloria Gonzalez as well, director of Cafe. And Gloria, do you want to say hi to everybody and tell them a little bit about Cafe?
Hello, everybody. Cafe is the new Center for Academic and Faculty Excellence, and is focused on that excellence for both established faculty, the faculty at CGU, and emerging faculty. That would be all our PFF scholars and our scholars that are attending today the webinar. And PFF is now one of the initiatives under this center. So welcome everybody. I will be monitoring the chat. If you have questions, you can drop them there, and then I can interrupt Jonathan if there's a specific question that needs to be clarification or anything like that. Thank you.
Great. Thank you. All right. So just a few guidelines before we begin the webinar. The transcript is enabled down below. So all you have to do is press the little CC button, and then you'll see my spoken word appear on the screen. And it's adjustable, so you can adjust the size however you need it. Let me put that in chat. Transcript is enabled. You can press the button to start it. All right. So this goes for this webinar and any webinar I run. Engage at any time. There's no need to wait until the end to ask questions or engage in any kind of discussion. You can just jump in any time. You're not going to interrupt me. You're not going to throw me off. This is for you. So please engage how you feel so inclined to do. So you can share in chat or out loud, just again, however you feel comfortable. Camera on or off, again, it's your choice. I just want you to be comfortable here today. So don't worry about, feeling the need to do anything you don't want to do. And then just a few guidelines on reducing your Zoom fatigue. So if you click the little kebab button next to your name, you can hide self-view if you don't want to look at yourself, because if you want to look at yourself, that's great, right? But in reality, when we talk to people, we don't have a mirror held up looking at ourselves all day long. And so I'm mindful of the fact that as graduate students and faculty, you're in Zoom meetings a lot. And so you're probably looking at yourself all day. So I want just to give you some tips to reduce your Zoom fatigue. You can either shrink your window size down or like set a distance between yourself and the computer to try to mimic the distance that you would have from somebody in real life. And that will also help reduce your Zoom fatigue. This webinar is being recorded, so just a heads up. I'll edit the video and throw it up on the PFF events website, and you can access it later if you want to use it for reference. For something technical like this, you also might want to use it to follow along with or something. Okay, so here's our agenda for today. Why should we use Zotero to manage research and notes? How to perform basic Zotero tasks, and where to go for more help with Zotero. The specific tasks that we'll cover today is how to download and installed Zotero and the Microsoft Word add-on and the browser add-ons. What the Zotero windows and buttons are, and how to add a source manually from a browser. How to cite a source in Microsoft Word and generate a bibliography. Okay, so this is part one. Part two, the next series in this webinar, it's going to get more deeply into like how to do tags and notes within Zotero and PDF edits. But this is like the basic tasks and probably the things that you're going to be most interested in getting started. All right. So before we begin, I would just like to know from you, and you can share out loud or in chat, just why did you come here today? Where were you interested in this webinar? Out of all the things that you could have done with your hour, why did you decide to do this?
For me, I would like to manage and work with Zotero in a professional way. So I do, and I work in Zotero, but I would like to do it more in professional.
Okay. So you have some previous experience with Zotero, but you want to know how to do it more efficiently.
Yes, I do.
Great. That's a great reason. Figure out more efficient ways to manage sources from the chat. Down Zotero before, but didn't have time to really get into the nuts and bolts. Great, we'll get into some nuts and bolts for sure. Learn a skill that will save me time in the long run. Yeah, it will save you lots of time for sure. References scattered all over the place on web and PC. Yeah, that's one of the problems that comes up, especially when you're doing a dissertation or a lot of research. If things are not organized and they're scattered all over the place, it can be a problem. And when I first started out, I used to write my citations out by hand on like napkins and papers, and things start turning into a organized chaos. I need a bibliographic management software. Great. I already use Zotero, but probably not optimally enough. So I want to learn how Zotero could make my life easier. Great. Wondering if I can start using Zotero even though I'm halfway through my dissertation. Yeah, you can. And if you're doing it, like if you have it organized someplace else, I can show you how to export those citations into Zotero. I'm beginning my PhD journey and would like to utilize it to help me organize my research. Yeah, so wherever you're at, if you have some organization system existing, or if you're just beginning, Zotero will be able to help you in either situation. But to start everything and keep it in one place will definitely help you. Have you used it before? I think we got that from what everybody shared. All right. So why use Zotero? All right, more accurate citations, better collaboration, good for large projects like writing a book or a scientific sort of manuscript like you have with a dissertation. Save time on switching citation styles for publications. Yeah, so maybe you're gonna submit to a particular scholarly journal for publishing and they want it to be in a specific format. If you don't use something like Zotero, do you really want to go through and manually change all the citation styles? Probably not, right? And what I mean is, like, if someone asks for something in the American Medical Association format versus APA format versus MLA format, you don't want to have to go through your Microsoft Word document and manually change everything to meet that requirement. With Zotero, you can simply just click a few buttons and it will automatically change everything for you. So that's a major help, especially, again, if you're working with a really large document. You can write better literature reviews. Yeah, and there's even ways if you're doing like a systematic review or a meta-analysis, you can export your sources into a CSV file and then organize it there in a meaningful way instead of like hiring an assistant to go and do all that for you or doing it yourself, which will probably take forever. Should be taught to undergraduate students and graduate students. Yeah, I think the earlier, the better in the academic career. I discovered Zotero as an undergraduate at the Office of Graduate Studies. I saw a flyer on the wall, and so I got to using it super early before I even got to graduate school. But typically, this is something that's really only offered to graduate students. So those of you that are going to be college level educators, this is something you want to expose your students to early on, if possible. Increased memory, build knowledge, reinforce memory, culmination. Yeah, if you can save everything from, let me use my wand. If you can save everything from one degree program to the next or one research project to the next, it's better because you might be reusing sources or building upon sources versus if you're just having things organized in files on your computer, it may be difficult to keep track of all of that. Data backup. So Zotero will back everything up on the cloud as well as on your desktop software. And that way, so if something ever happens to your computer, you'll still have all your sources organized. And it's definitely faster. Like we said, a few clicks of the buttons. Yep, you can connect all of these things together: our thick topic, years and timeline, conversations, searches, and reports. Yes, it's faster. And then the other reason for using it is it's an open source software. So there's other softwares that you could use, right? Like, where is it? EndNote. Yeah, you could use like EndNote. Here it is right here. But like those are like paid software, right? So look, here's how I feel about it, and I think you'll agree with me. We want to get away from relying on these paid softwares to do research. Number one, because it's a burden on you as students and researchers to have to spend money on stuff like that. It's also a burden on the university because the university has to buy a license for something like that to offer it to you. And that comes out of savings that could be passed on to you in tuition or to staff and faculty and salaries, or money that we could use to actually fund our research, right? So we want to use open source software like Zotero. And honestly speaking, like Zotero is the best, right? I use another one called JabRef2, which is also free. But for most people doing most everything, Zotero is going to be the most efficient way to go. And it's open source, so we love that. Yeah, it works with Microsoft Word, Google Docs, LibreOffice, which is an open source Office thing. So again, if you don't want to rely on a paid software like Word, it could work with all these other writing tools as well. Cloud and local storage, we covered that. You don't have to switch to something else later. Okay. All right. So enough of the why. Let's get to what you came here for. Let's like roll up our sleeves and do the work. So did everybody have a chance to download it on the web, or should we go over that? You can give me like a thumbs up emoji. All right, we got 1 download, 2, 3.
We had 7 at some point.
7 at some point.
Yeah. Maybe go really quickly because yeah.
Okay. All right. Zoom screen, web browser. All right, can everybody see the Zotero screen right now? Okay, great. So if you go to the link that I just put in chat, you'll have a web page like this. It's automatically detecting me for Mac, but it has these other options down here too, Windows and Linux as well. So all you really need to do is click the download button and follow the installation instructions. And then you can also get different plugins here. But yeah, the connector will be available for your browser as well. And here is here's the direct link to this page where it's just the connectors. And so you can download it for Safari or Google Chrome or Firefox or the Microsoft browser for any of those. Let me change my view. Here it is. And then once you download Zotero, it's going to look like this. So once you add a source, it will automatically add all the metadata for it in there for you. And I'll give you like a full tutorial on how to do everything. But Zoom is a little bit wonky in the sense that am I recommending that I download this on the phone or computer or both? I think it's only available on the computer. Oh, it's available on the phone now too. Great. Yeah, download it on both if you can. But for this, just download it however it's going to work for you to follow along if you want to. You have access to it on your phone. Great. All right. So let's go back to the slide so I can show you everything without having to switch back and forth between screens. All right. All right. So in the website we just showed you, that's just the easy download there. And then once you download the program, you'll have it in your apps, and then you can drag it to your desktop or wherever it's easy for you to access. But this is basically what it looks like. And you can create folders using this folder button, and you can add different like projects to it, basically. So I just added a project here called like Zotero is cool. And then once you have a folder set up, you can add your sources, any, kind of periodical or like books, journal articles, even websites, podcasts, any of these sources you can add into Zotero. And then when you click on it, you'll see that it should automatically populate the metadata in here. So you have the title, author, an abstract. Right. Oh yeah, James is here. Look, James, I added your podcast to the to the example. All right. So you can see it will add the metadata. If you have to manually edit it in there, you can, but it will automatically add it so it can generate into Microsoft Word or Google Docs for you. Now, in my opinion, the most efficient way to add a source to Zotero is using this wand right here. So there's like a little wand button. And when you click that, you can enter in the DOI, that it stands for Digital Object Identifier, or the ISBN if it's a book, and any of these other ID sources, right? So if you were to go straight to like Google Scholar or something like that, and you open up a journal article, you'll see that they always have right here a DOI number, right? That digital object identifier. And that's just like, libraries have to assign books a certain number so they can keep track of things. This is how we do that digitally. So if you go to Google Scholar or PsycInfo or whatever, wherever you get your sources from, there's always going to be this DOI, even if you have it in a PDF form, right? The publication will have the DOI. So you can copy it straight into here, and then it will automatically add the metadata to it. Same goes for a website. You can, okay, so another way to do it is, that connector we were showing you could download to your browser. What that does is it will add this icon here to the top of your browser. So let's say you want to add an article or a website. If you want to add a blog or something, here we have the PFF website. And then if you were to just to click this icon from your connector, yeah, that's another example. Here's like an article, so it will look like a paper with lines on it, and if it's a website, it will just look the other way. But once you click on it, whatever folder you have opened on your Zotero desktop, it will automatically populate into that folder, right? So you just click a button, it will add it, and it will format all the citations for you. And then of course, this is for the next one. So, but you can also add like images and notes and all kinds of things to the source that's in there, right? But the nice thing about adding it with the connector or using the DOI method is that what that does is it tells the program, go and look everywhere on the internet for anything that matches this DOI. And now pull all the metadata from that together so it fills out the most information as possible. What that will also do, if there's a PDF associated with the article, it will put it in here, right? So you don't have to worry about, okay, I gotta save the citation here, I gotta download the PDF here. It will store everything right here for you. So whatever metadata is available, it will just grab it. And then if you wanted to organize it for like a systematic review or something like that, you can also just right click. You can highlight as many sources as you want and right click it, and you can export it as one of these other files, right? So I will usually export it as a CSV or something like that. And if you wanted to combine multi-literacies, this isn't like a coding class, right? But if you wanted to, if you're a Python user or something like that, why not organize your stuff in Zotero, organize it in a CSV export, and automate your article management with Python or something like that, just like an extra. You can choose, yeah. You could also, let's see. You also have RefWorks. If you use EndNote or something else as well, you can export it into that format. And I think I also keep everything in a big text format. You have to head to another meeting, but you'll catch the recording. All right, see you, Betsy. So look, if you were to export it into a CSV, it would organize all this information for you. So when I was a research assistant and I was doing like helping out with like meta-analysis, I used to go and do this stuff by hand. Like we would have this metadata and I would go in the articles and find everything and manually put it in and find the effect size and keep track of that, right? I don't know about effect size, but Zotero will grab like most of the important information to organize it if you needed to do that for any reason. All right, so here's the things that you probably care about most. So once your sources are added to Zotero, you can highlight a few things or everything in your library, and you can just click this option, create bibliography from items. All right, so when you click create bibliography from items, you can choose what citation style language you want to use, right? I use APA, so I have APA 7th edition added here. And so you can add it to a clipboard, so you can copy and paste, or you can add bibliography in the Microsoft Word plugin. But let's say you just did this, right? All right, apparently my stuff is not organized in the way I'm presenting it. All right, let's just show you this, right? So let's say you wanted to just copy and paste the bibliography in APA format, right? If you did that, you can go into Word and then just paste it, and it would already be automatically formatted like this, right? So that saves you the work of having to do that. The other beautiful thing is, once you get the Microsoft Word plugin, let me move this bar out of my way so I can see everything. Yeah, okay. All right, so check this out, right? Once you install the Microsoft Word plugin, you'll have a button on, you'll go to Insert in Microsoft Word, and then you'll go to Zotero, right? And it has this tool in here that says Add Citation or Add Bibliography. So let's say you have chapter 1 here and your dissertation, and you write, you know, lorem ipsum dolor, write a paragraph of text, and you want to put an in-text citation in there. All you got to do is click this Add Edit Citation button. And it will pull up all the citations that you have in your Zotero folder, right? So if you just start typing in a keyword, it will pull it up from the list, and then you can select which one matches, right? So again, James, we're using your example. So I write pod for podcast, and then that interview comes up. Once you click on this, it will add the citation in here, right? So in this case, it's just it will add these in APA format. And then if you were also Yeah, okay, let's go back here. If you were also to select this other option, add edit bibliography, what it will do is for every in-text citation you put throughout your document, it will automatically generate a bibliography for that based on that citation language style and based on the in-text citations you put in. So you click that, and then it will add this to the end of your document. The other thing I would like to note is you see the citations were an APA, but if I were to click a different citation style language like IEEE, and that's where like it will make the number of your citations in order, like citation 1, 2, 3, and then it will number it like in notes, basically, like you will see in most books. Then you can add the same citation, but it will appear in that citation language style, like that. And then if you go to click the Generate Bibliography button, you'll see that it's changed it, right? So instead of looking like an APA format, it's now ordered citation 1, citation 2 in that order. All right. So that's the general overview. I can show you how to do it in real time, but maybe I'll just stop for a second and ask, um, did that generate, how do you get the word extension? Yes, okay, that's a great thing to show you. All right. So let me show you that. All right. All right, everyone can see my Zotero. All right, see some thumbs up, great. Oh yeah, I can just look at my phone too. Okay, you can see it. All right, great. So yes. All right, let me get my wand. Okay, so here at the top toolbar, once you have the app open, it will say Zotero, and then you'll have these other options up here. So if you click Tools, it says Add-ons, and then okay. This is the thing I don't love about Zoom is every time another pop-up comes up, you have to reshare what you're seeing. All right. So once you click the add-ons button, you have these extension options here. So you don't have to go and download something extra. It's already built into Zotero. So you can use the Zotero word for Mac integration, or it will say, PC if you use a Windows computer, or Linux if you use Linux, and Office Libre. So mine's already enabled, so that's why it doesn't show enable over here. But if it wasn't already installed, it would just say enable.
So Jonathan, did you go through the Google Docs one? That would be the extension that you have.
Did I go over which one?
The Google Docs.
The Google Docs. No, I haven't gone over that one. Let's see.
So while Jonathan is figuring that out, oh, okay.
Yeah, so if you have Google Docs open, there's a Zotero button right here. And you can add a citation.
But is that add-on coming up once you have Zotero in Chrome, or how does that work? Or is it already there?
You know, to be honest, I didn't prepare that for this webinar, and it's been a while since I did the Google Docs version. So I did find this article though, so I might have to it looks like once you add the connector, it will be available. So you have to add the connector for Google Chrome. All right. So let me try to show you some of this in real time. All right, so let's say that you were to go to Google Scholar and I just typed something in. Here's an article. You have two options, right? You could just copy the DOI here. And then come to your Zotero app and click this little wand, paste the DOI, hit enter. Oops. There we go. And see, it automatically added Zotero a product review, right? I could right click this and say generate a bibliography based on it. Click APA, and then you can copy it to your clipboard, and then it will already generate that citation. Let's delete this. And let's go back to that website again. All right. So if you have the plugin, you'll have an icon like this over here, just at the top of your web browser. And if you click on it, it will also automatically add the citation. The caveat is depends on what folder you have open here, right? So if I have dissertation folder open, it's going to automatically add it in somewhere here, right? If I have Zotero is cool folder open, it's going to automatically open it there. Okay, So I'm just going to click this time on the icon. And it says saving to Zotero is cool. It didn't find a PDF, but it found everything else. So it added that. So we'll just add anything that's available here. And then sure enough, we see that citation Zotero is cool. A product review shows up. So you could export those items or, so let's go to the Microsoft Word now. Okay. And see, this is why I put everything in the slides, because with Zoom, you know, every time you share something else, you won't see it unless I stop and reshare. All right. So I'm just going to add a citation right here at the end. And I have this Zotero button up here. So I'm just going to click it. Add edit citation. That's not going to show it. All right. This is actually on the Microsoft Word document. It's just the way Zoom shares, you just see it on top of a black screen. So what you will do is just, it will show your, it's not going to show it. Okay, there you go. This is like a pop-up screen. It's on a black screen right now, but this is hovering over Microsoft Word document. So if I click that citation and click OK, it added this citation right here in APA format. And then if I go to the end of my document and I go back to the Zotero tool and say, add edit bibliography, there we go. Right, it automatically formatted the citation I have in my document. So if you were to add another citation right here, okay, you can see it. There we go. It just added, with a few clicks of the button, this source for self-determination theory, and then it automatically organized it in alphabetical order according to APA format. And so then you can go through and change your whole document and add everything as needed. Now, if you also go here to edit citation,
Jonathan, there's a question then. Does that mean that you have to keep the references in the same document as the body of the paper?
does that mean you have to keep the references in the same document as the body of the paper? Okay, so I'm trying to understand the question. I think you're asking,
Well, some people are just like, you know, putting citations and then having a different document for references. They're saying if we do it that way, it will generate the references at the end of that paper where you're writing.
got it. So the question, if I understand, is what if I just want to keep my bibliography on a separate document? Yeah, okay, great. I understand. So in that case, let me change the screen here so I can see what you're seeing. Okay, great. Okay, great. So in this case, I can just highlight one source, or I'm just going to hit Control A and highlight all of my sources. I'll just right click and say create bibliography from items. Right. And then I'm just going to go copy as clipboard. And you can also do HTML if you want to put it on a website. All right, I copied. Now I'm going to go back to, let me just open a new document. Right, and then I can just paste. So you can keep a list of your references there like that. Or let's say your advisor is like, hey, can I have a citation for this or that? Or, they keep asking you for stuff. You can easily just go copy it from Zotero and email it to them. Was that,
Yeah, it looks like it was helpful. I have a question too, Jonathan, if that's okay.
Yeah.
Can you add the PDFs in Zotero, or is that you have to figure out another sorting system for that? The PDFs of the actual paper, I mean.
You can totally add it. So, all right, let's say, let me pick something. Oops. Okay. So let's say we have a book here and you want to add a PDF of the book. Add attachment. Yeah, so I got a bunch of PDFs right here, right? I keep all the PDFs in another article called articles, but if you want to manually add it in, you can just do that. And then if I click this down arrow, you'll see the PDF is added. And then this is the PDF that was added. So I'm opening it actually in Zotero. And then there are several tools within Zotero to also like highlight things if you wanted to do that, or add notes. So, and then all those edits you make, I don't know why it's not showing the preview here. Usually it will. Let's see. Yeah, it's a sharing thing, but you can add links, you can add notes, you can add text. You can also add like notes and tags to the citation. So I can add well-being there. And then when I want to search for everything that has the tag well-being, that will come up. I'm not supposed to talk about these tools today because that's for the second webinar session of it. But I'll answer anything you ask me. I'm like Ron Burgundy on a teleprompter. All right. So I'm mindful of time. We're getting short on time. So let's go over. Let's go back to slides. So I have some resources to share in a poll, but is there any other questions you have? Because I feel like this is very different from teaching a class where I'm talking a lot and you didn't have a lot of chance to I feel like this should be like a 3-hour webinar so we can just do hands-on work and you can like practice it, but it's an hour. We have just a little time to go over it. So did anything else come up in what you were seeing? Questions, concerns?
I have a question, please.
Yeah.
So in case if I like to have like the summary for the papers and the documents, separate documents.
Mm-hmm.
Way I attach this one in the Zotero so as a document, not PDF, so I can work on it during I reading the article.
Yeah. So in the you know, the export feature I showed you where you can just right click and export, you can export notes. So if you write a summary in the notes in Zotero for that article, you can export the notes for it and get that the notes with it. If you want the abstract for it, right, then when you export that metadata, you'll also have all the abstracts for the articles. So I showed you how to do it in Excel, but you can do it in a variety of formats that's suitable for you.
Okay, thank you.
I realized there's one other thing I forgot to show you, which is the Zotero web. Yeah. So let me show you that very quickly. If you create a Zotero web account, it will automatically sync between the desktop and the web. So we have here, Zotero is cool, right? And then all the things I added to that is also here on the web. So if anything ever happens to your computer, it crashes, it gets stolen, your library is still here and you won't lose any of your sources or your PDFs, none of that. So that's pretty cool as well. And then if you use Google Scholar or something like that, you can connect the Claremont College's library, sign in to Google Scholar so that you have full text access to everything. And then you can combine that with the Zotero plugin so that you can just click a button and get that full text added to your online Zotero library. It will also sync with your desktop app. So that's pretty cool, I think. All right, so let me show you resources. First and foremost, here we go. All right. Here's a bunch of links, including the links that you had today and links to our other PFF resources that are available to you. I don't have the link to Cafe, but I think Gloria could put that in.
Yeah.
Okay. Great. And then slides. I'm going to launch a poll so you can give us your feedback on how this went for you today. All right. If you want more help with the Zotero, you can also make an appointment with the library. Again, the link for the Zotero download is in the chat. Hey. Oh, someone.
Someone is coming.
It's all right. All right, PFF is here for you. We have on our events page a bunch more webinars, and we offer a certificate in college teaching if you want to be involved with that. Here's all our social media pages. Be sure to follow those. We try to maintain a community of alumni so that way we can share teaching opportunities and so forth. We also have a cafe Twitter page now as well, so make sure to follow that. We're Ethical Pedagogy Community on LinkedIn. References for today. Okay. Let's see. All right, 12 out of 12 participants have answered the poll. So that's great. Some of you had to leave. We didn't get that, but I appreciate the feedback you offered. So with that said, that's our time today. You're free to go, but you're also free to stay. I'll stick around if you have questions and want any additional help, support.
Thank you, Jonathan.
Did you guys mention that
Yeah.
there would be a part 2 to this webinar?
Yeah, there is. Let's show you that.
Thank you.
Jonathan, I'm going to get going to my next appointment.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you so much for doing this.
Thank you
Bye.
for coming, Gloria. Appreciate everything. Bye. All right, part 2. All right. So if you go to the Preparing Future Faculty website, which I shared in chat, it's just mycgu.edu/preparing-future-faculty/ it, and go to events. All our webinars are listed right here. So this was Research Management Software Part 1, how to use Zotero. And then the recording will be available here as soon as I upload it. And part 2 is scheduled for October 26th, same time, same day, Wednesday, 12 to 1 p.m. Let me give you this direct link.